Hi, everybody. How's it going? I'm Zaina Rose. I'm here with Erin Miller. Hey, Erin.
Hi.
Today we have an amazing tip for you, something that expensive career coaches may not want you to know.
Yes, this is probably my favorite thing to talk about when it comes to interviewers because over the years I've kind of developed my own method for closing down an interview and showcasing that, I am the obvious choice for the job. And so it's just a little technique that I've developed, and it has virtually a 100%
And
guaranteed.
by okay, so you're humble and you developed it, but I'm going to interrupt and brag on you a little bit. Okay, so this tip is we're going to give you a preview for it, but it's inside our ACER interview course. And some of the people who have taken that course, and I bring this up for a very good reason, are high level professionals who people that you would not suspect would even be interested in getting help. You would think they have it all together, but they had like a learner's mind and they were interested to see what there was in this little course. So they have given us the feedback that they have now turned to this technique
Yeah.
and
Like,
do not need to spend thousands of dollars on an expensive career coach. Like are helping some people who have done that, and and there are great expensive career coaches out there. There are. So we're not saying it's not a worthy pursuit or a worthy thing to do. However, this tip that Erin's going to introduce you today is one of the most powerful things that we want to offer you.
so without further ado,
Go.
okay, so we know that when the interviewer is wrapping, the interviewer is going to ask you, they're going to say, Zaina, do you have any questions for me? And I know in an earlier video, we threw out some ideas for some great questions you could ask because it really showcases your knowledge and the research that you've done to prepare for the interview. And that's vitally important. However, the last question that you should ask the interviewer is what their ideal candidate looks for. And have your notepad ready and your pen because they will tell you exactly what their ideal candidate looks like, the characteristics, and usually they'll give you multiple characteristics of what they're looking for. So what I do is I will write them down. So they'll say, I want a team player, I want somebody who's dependable, and they'll rattle off some things. And so I write a list, and usually they're looking at me like, why is she writing this down? But there's a method. So once they're done with the list, I'll ask them, I'll be like, is that it? And they'll say yes. And then I will take each one of those descriptors and I will tell them how I fit that ideal candidate. So I'll say, you said team player. I am a team player. I got MVP on, with every job that I've had in the sales training facility. And I'll go through how each one of those characteristics, I am that. And so at the end of that list, it might be 4 things, it might be 15 things, but I will break down each and every single one. And there's a psychology behind that because if I'm telling them that I fit every single one, I'm basically eliminating the need for them to interview any further. I'm taking it off the plate. So after I finish talking about how I fit every single descriptor, I'll say, so based on that, the list that you're looking for in your ideal candidate, and based on how I fit every one of those qualities, is there any reason at this point that you wouldn't promote me and move me along in an interview process so that I can move forward with the job? Bam. It is virtually impossible for anybody to argue that because you've just used their own vocabulary, their own words, and you've spun it. It's called
And
spin
yeah,
selling.
amazing. And the way that you say that line, is there any reason at this point? Just make sure that you deliver that line in your authentic tone of voice, because this is what we'll avoid. Like, so for some people have said to us like they're more reserved and more shy, and to muster up the confidence to say something like that, it might come out too aggressive. So we would say practice.
Absolutely. But and to your point, saying 100%, it is imperative that you say something to that measure.
Yeah.
You have to say, do you have any reservations? Because that is your last ditch effort. If there's anything left, anything holding them back from saying, yes, this is the girl, that is your chance right then and there to address it and squash it. So that's why it is
address and squash, address and squash.
Exactly. Because if they say, well, I remember once I had somebody say to one of the people that I coach, they said, well, you're very young and, you have everything going for you, but you're young. And that was the only thing holding them back. And they were able to, ask the question, find out that that's what it was. And then they were able to address it. And they walked off knowing they landed the job. I mean,
also, it didn't fester on the mind of the interviewer as a concern.
Right.
Or a hesitation.
That might be another way to ask that question is, do you and instead of any reservations, do you have any questions or concerns moving forward? Because then again, that gives you that last ditch opportunity to address it. And then another thing you can do is when you're sending your follow-up email, your thank you email, which should always go out within 24 hours. I say the sooner the better so that you're kept top of mind. You can address it even a second time in your follow-up email saying, I know I'm 100% the person based on, and you've written the list down. And then you can also address that concern of whatever, you're too young, whatever their concern is, just to reiterate that you are the ideal candidate and that you want the job. And the employers expect, and I'm going to repeat that, they expect you to close the interview by asking for the job if it's what you want. A lot of people miss that step.
Oh, so many people don't do that.
Kiss of death.
Right. Yeah.
Because if you're not hungry for it, why are they going to think about the investment that they're about?
Because somebody will be hungry enough for it potentially. Like the next person who's also qualified on paper, but maybe you're a better fit, but that next person closes and asks, they're going to say that person had more passion and wanted it. Even you might have had more, but you have to show. People can't tell.
Yeah, you have to. If you want it, you have to ask for it. It's like with anything else in the world, you have to ask for it. And it's true that the squeaky wheel gets the oil, And plus, again, they're about to make a huge investment in onboarding a new hire. So you have to make sure that they know that you are going to be a great fit. You're going to be loyal. You're going to be, willing
and if you're telling them directly in your own professional and charming way, whatever that means for you, you've taken the work from them. You've told them they don't need to wonder.
Mm-hmm. So really and truly, I will tell you that way of closing an interview, I've seen it have 100% success rate every single time because it is virtually impossible to argue against your own words. You just can't.
It's true.
So they're kind of, a lot of times they're at a loss, like one of those where they're like,
yeah, it's almost like
okay.
they're in a good way really shocked.
Yeah.
Just surprised, but happily surprised.
And you can do it on any industry, any interview. That is how you should learn, get good at it, to lock down that interview. And we go into a lot more depth into it in the course, which I'm going to tell you that is worth the entire course is worth just that piece of knowledge.
Yeah. We're actually in a special phase for the course. So it's currently at a really intro price for you. We got feedback that a lot of people needed this help and we really wanted to make it accessible. So currently for only $47, you can own Ace Your Interview. And we know it will not stay at that level of investment for very long, but it is right now. So if you're watching this video and when it's still at that time, it's available for you. And you can complete it in one afternoon. There are some worksheets in there to help you. And what we're finding is that people are using it before every interview, like reviewing it, because it's so efficient and short to complete, but so powerful. And we've also got free stuff for you. We've got free stuff for you in the form of a really amazing checklist and more videos. So please
questions to ask.
We're here to help. Yes, please let us know. What are your questions about anything to do with the interview process, about getting ready for it, about how you perform inside the interview, about how to follow up? Let us know. We would love to answer you in a future video. So you can message us or post about it and get in touch. We'd love to hear from you.
Absolutely. Thanks, everybody.
Hey, bye for now.